Welcome back to some more battles. We are in the championship series, and today let's see what we're going to be trying out. We got the Oranguru in the lead with the Shadow, Claydol, and the Togekiss in the back. So we forced the Oranguru to show up, and we do have the slight energy advantage, so we are able to get the Rock Tomb debuff first. They go for the Trailblaze to boost up their attack, but that is going to be a little bit iffy because we're going to be able to one shield farm down, and we're going to take the energy advantage into the next matchup. We get met with a Goodra. The Goodra tanks the Rock Tomb, then they swap out, and we see the Turtonator. This Turtonator is running Ember fast move, I believe, and they tank the first move. Brutal Swing is going to get used, and that is not going to be enough damage. It looks like we are trying to get a farm down from just the fast moves. We tank another Brutal, and then they swap out into their Goodra. This Goodra here does have to eventually shield. There's the shield. They go for the Aqua Tail, easily taking us out, but luckily we still have a really healthy Oranguru, and that's going to allow us to win this game. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game with the Oranguru lead, and then it ended up being our closer. So yeah, this team here kind of targeting the dragons, and let's see if we can find some more dragons. Here we're gonna have Oranguru into the Turtonator, not the matchup we need. We go into the Claydol, and we get met with a Matang. So it looks like they're just going to try to take advantage of the fast move pressure. We decided to let this go. They decided to go for the Psyshock bait. And now we can shield here and go for the farm down again. We didn't have a great lead because that Turtonator would have been able to outlast the Oranguru. And we see another dragon. So this Goodra ends up shielding. We're going to swap out here. They fire off a move. Thunder Punch is still going to go through even though it was debuff. That was a tremendous amount of damage. And then you can see right here, Aura Sphere, excuse me, is going to be able to deal a decent amount of damage. Our opponent does end up going for a move here. Dragon Claw is not enough. We decided to go for one extra fast move and then go for this Aura Sphere. We end up getting the shield. And now we're going to see if we can take this Turtonator out with a lot of neutral moves. And we get that farm down, which is really nice. And because of that, they are going to have to GG's quit because our Oranguru, once again, is fairly healthy. All right. Good leads are not in our favor. Let's see if we can get a good lead here. We're going to have Oranguru into the mirror matchup. So unfortunately here, this is going to be basically who wins the cap time and who wants to invest some shields. Looks like we go for the Brutal Swing first. And let's see what they throw. Brutal Swing is used as well. Who wins cap tie here? Looks like we do win the cap tie. And they decided to let it go. And since that's the case, we're gonna let it go as well. They swap into the Shadow. Sorry, they go into the Gyarados. I don't think that's Shadow, but either way, we have a really slight energy advantage. We're gonna let this go here. They decided to fire off the Aqua Tail, not enough for the KO. We're gonna shield here, and we do not get there, so this is a little bit unlucky. We have to let this go, but we know that this is relatively energy dry now. And now our opponent reveals their Turtonator in the back. We are going to show our Togekiss. And these Aura Spheres are actually adding up, plus the fast move. So we might actually get a shield here. We do end up getting a shield. And now our opponent is going to be forced to throw some resisted moves. There's the first one. We're going to shield here. And we're going to force this Gyarados to take some damage. We go for the farm down. We get that farm down, and then our opponent is going to have to come back in with the Turtonator. Oh, they actually go with their Oranguru. We get the farm down, and it looks like our opponent doesn't have any energy, and we get to this move before they can get to there. So down goes the Turtonator with the Togekiss, closing and clutching up the game for us. Luckily, the pacing of the Togekiss was perfectly timed that we can get to that move before they can get to an additional brutal swing. All right, we got the Oranguru into the Talonflame. We're just going to stay in for now. Our opponent is going to throw some energy. They go for the flame charge, and we are able to survive it. Most of the damage is from the fast moves, you can see. And then you can get to another brutal swing here. This is going to get the shield or get the KO. They decided to let it go. And unfortunately, Dugong is awful for our backline. And now, let's see if our opponent realizes that this is going to be their win condition. We shield here. They're going to be able to get to this Icy Wind debuff. We get to another Aura Sphere here, and at least we're going to get some damage or that last shield. Ooh, unfortunately, we got to let this go because we need the shield for this Claydol. At least the Claydol is dealing decent damage with their fast move. We have to shield here no matter what. And then we're going to try to overfarm as much as possible here. They decided to swap out into their ghost type, so we're going to debuff them first, swap out into the Oranguru, but unfortunately we don't get to the move, and they're going to be able to clean this up. So GG's to our opponent. Really unlucky backline. The Dugong was perfectly placed in the back. So for this last battle here, we decided to change it up completely and go with the Glalie in the back to try to find these ice types. And unfortunately, the ice type is in the lead, and our opponent catches the move perfectly into their Turtonator. So well played by them. We are gonna use this Glalie to try to deal some decent damage. We're gonna fire off this avalanche, and we do end up getting the shield, so that's okay. We're gonna go for another avalanche, and they decided double shield, so not exactly what we want to see. We couldn't really match them with our own Turtonator, as we would have been down energy. And then we're just gonna shield here, try to get the boost back up. This Trailblaze is super effective, but it's not going to be close to take him out. They go for another move, and we're gonna hope that we can get a farm down with this Turtonator, I guess. It looks like our opponent does faint on that last Incinerate. And then you can see right here, we are going to have a ton of energy. First brutal swing goes through. Our opponent goes back into their Turtonator, and we're going to hope that we can get them KO'd. Unfortunately, that is not going to be a KO, and down goes our team. So GG's to our opponent. Check out the team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.